Hey, what is up, everybody? Jason here. I'm a bit late, sorry, but you know how it is. Well, at least in my household, I'm always, there's too many things going on. And then I lose track of time, and then all of a sudden I have to do something, and I'm late. Anyway, last week we built the Alpine Lodge, which was quite a nice set. And this week we are going to be building a ski hill to go with it, because, it seems like a very appropriate thing to go along with an Alpine Lodge. After a full day of skiing, the minifigs want to go into the lodge and chill out by the fire, have a good meal. So we are going to give them an excuse to exercise their legs. Although really the ski hill will do all the work for them, but you know how it is. So we'll just get right into it. I have pulled out all the pieces, I think, hopefully, to get this going, and I've even separated them out into different quote-unquote numbered bags like Lego does. I've tried to organize them by sections of the model I'll be building to expedite the process. So I got some instructions up. The first thing we're building are some trees. Super exciting. Okay, and while we do this, what is going on in the chat? Enthusiastic Bananas in the house. Hey ho. Excellent. At least we got somebody that knows what's going on around here. Moto is in the house. Oh my gosh. Is that like 2 streams in a row you've popped in? Perhaps. It's got to be pretty early on the West Coast. Great to have you kicking around for a bit. Hello from Texas, Rebecca J. Cheers. Joko, hey Jason, how are you? I am doing great. Has everybody been enjoying Black Friday? I don't know. In Canada, we celebrate Thanksgiving in October, so there's no Thanksgiving festivities for me this weekend, but the sales on Shop at Home are kind of ridiculous in North America. It's 8 a.m. in Denver. Oh yeah, I guess you're only 2 hours behind then. S4SA, good morning. Ezra Cornfield. Oh, it's been a while. Hi from Netherlands. Dutch brick builders in the house. Oh, Eric made it again. From the top of the GTA, not too far. Did anybody get any fun Lego last weekend, Insider weekend, or today? I'm tempted to order the Knight's Castle, but even though it's 25% off, it's still pretty expensive. And I know it will probably just sit in the box under my desk for years. So I'm not really sure if I should pull the trigger and buy it. We will see. Joko, hi from Bulgaria. Oh, Samir Patel is back. This should be a set. Genius. So that's very nice of you to say. Appreciate the sentiment. Lego had their chance. It was on ideas for a while. They passed. Brick Film Studio is back. Cheers. Welcome back. Okay, first thing we're doing after the trees, we're going to build the slope for the minifigs to ski down. And early on I experimented a lot with the slope, and I found that just having them ski on studs is actually the best way to do it. There's actually too much friction between tiles and skis. If everybody remembers their high school physics, the more surface area you have in contact in general, the more friction there will be. So there's more surface area contact between the skis and tiles than there is between the skis and studs. Dutch brick builder, do I like cars? I do like the car we drive. I'm not hugely into cars in terms of like knowing everything about every make and model of cars, but you know, I do like cars. They're cool. Does this improve on your previous iteration? Yes, actually, I completely redesigned it. Although you can't really tell from the outside because it doesn't really look much different. But and actually, I guess the core mechanics are very similar. But I changed the lift mechanism for raising and lowering the top of the ski hill. It's completely redesigned. Also improved a lot of just the build experience on it. So it got a major overhaul for sure. Which is kind of required when you, because I made instructions for it. There's a huge difference between designing a model for myself and designing a model that's intended for other people to build. When you want to make instructions for other people to build it, all of a sudden you have to consider the build experience and how easily things go together. It's well enough if I have to like fiddle around with stuff to get it together, but if other people have to do that, then that means it's a poor build experience. So yeah, there was a lot of like small tweaks and stuff that went into this version of the model. Actually, one major difference between this and the previous ones is I was using white versions of this windscreen, but the white ones are actually incredibly pricey on the secondhand market. So, I mean, you can still order white ones if you decide to build this yourself, but it's just going to cost you an arm and a leg. But the trans-clear ones look like icy snow, so I figured it was a suitable and reasonable sacrifice in terms of cost versus looks. Oh, Gen X Toys back with the super chat or whatever that is. Greetings and salutations. Cheers. Thanks. Always appreciate your generosity, my friend. Indeed. And I know you sent me an email and I didn't reply to it yet, but I will. Been busy. Butch Brickbuilder is in the house. David B, hello from Belgium. Well, cheers. I bought and built Pursuit of Flight last weekend. Great build. Oh, amazing. Thanks. Really appreciate it. Oh my god. Why is my mouse all of a sudden doing things? Okay. Oh, S4SA, thank you for keeping the part cost down for the fans. Yeah, although, I mean, even if I made them white in the instructions, I'm sure any reasonable person would still realize they could be swapped in with clear, but I don't think it looks any worse, so I figured I might as well make them clear from the get-go. And as I said, you can still order the white ones if you want. Actually, I did order a few myself just so I have some before they go out of stock. But they were pricey. I think they were, I mean, I bought new ones. I think they were like $5 or $6 Canadian each or something. Bit ridiculous. So I have 6 in total right now. So I could make 2 ski hills with white ones. Well, moto, but we sacrificed for the cause, yeah. I mean, it does look really nice with the white ones, I will say that, but you just gotta pay for it. Could you please mention the parts that may be difficult to obtain or make the model expensive? Thanks. Actually, there's only 2 right now that are particularly pricey. Well, actually, that's not necessarily true. I mean, these are pretty pricey, these large plates, but I mean, they're plentiful at least. So, but this does use quite a few of them. I think I use 5 gray ones, 2 white ones. Okay, here's our slope. Looks pretty much done. And the other expensive one are the turntables, which interestingly enough, these turntables, 8x8 tile, round tiles, they're actually back in production. They're in the jazz set with the figures playing jazz, the Lego Ideas set. And on Bricklink, they're actually quite pricey. They're probably like, I don't know, $4 each or something new, maybe. But they're actually pretty cheap on Lego Bricks and Pieces. They're only like $1 each. So you're definitely better off buying these ones from Bricks and Pieces versus Bricklink. Do I know the channel Brick Crafts? Gen X Toy Geek. Yes, obviously. Bob Brickman. Yeah, I've watched a few of his videos. Man, that guy, like, he does not mess around. And he seems to build, like, I don't know, like really quickly. This is amazing. I'm very impressed with his ability to just churn out builds. And obviously his layout looks amazing. I haven't been following the status of the museum he's opening, but I haven't watched one of his videos in a little while. Okay, here's our, do I have a minifig floating around? Oh yeah. So here we got a minifig, we got a slope. This is the slope they'll be going down. How's this camera working out? So in theory, I'll get to the top and promptly fall over. Unfortunately, doing it by hand has unpredictable results because I influenced but there you go. We get a little ski action, little moguls. Museum is not open yet. Oh yeah, he's now building a gigantic airport. Wow. Do you work on Lego? Or are you like a master builder? I don't know. I'll let you be the judge of that. I mean, I build with Lego every day, so yes, I work on Lego. Okay, what's next? Okay, now we're gonna build the lift mechanism. Oh, look at Gen X Toys Geek dropping a Patreon link. Unnecessary, my friend, but figure people that want to support me will seek out how to do it, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Much appreciated. Whoa, Mr. Singh is animating 9 reindeers tomorrow. Amazing. Cool. Actually, I think I might build that. I don't have that model together anymore. I think I took it apart. Actually, it might be in some pieces somewhere in a box from last Christmas. I don't know. I'll take it out, but I might build that on stream at some point closer to Christmas. At the very least, I should make a little short about it, because that is a fun one for sure. I really enjoy that model. And I do try and build it, or at least some variation of it every year for the Christmas display, which is what makes me think I might actually have it together, or at least the pieces separated anyway, in a box somewhere. Okay, we're building the little tensioner for the lift because, as I will explain when we build the lift, it does require a tensioning system. And for the tensioning, I'm just using a standard rubber band. It'll be a pretty basic tensioning system. So that's the bottom of the tensioning system, and then the top reel, the lift cable will go around a couple of reels, and I don't know why I'm not centered in the picture. So this will be the bottom reel, which will just be a simple wheel for the cable to slide around. We're just using a wheel hub, no friction, because the cable just needs to slide around it loosely, basically. And that's all there is to it. And now we're going to build up some framing for the actual lift. Eric, yep, I just got my 2-pack of Santa's sleigh from Lego. Oh, so mine will be done soon. Oh, amazing. That does seem to be a very popular model around this time of year. Gen X Toys, have you seen the Lego Dune Atreides Royal Ornithopter? Yeah, I definitely saw some of the I saw the designer reveal video, but I think that's about it. I don't know if there's any other media surrounding it, but yeah, it looks kind of cool, although it's kind of drab, I guess. Not that I expected it not to be, because it is really just a monochrome ship, so. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'll pick it up. I will definitely look through the instructions, though, to see how it's built. Because I'm really curious about how the mechanism works. The mechanism does look very impressive and very robust, which is pretty impressive. Oh, it's on pre-order now, yeah. I mean, I'm not in a rush to go order it by any means. What set number is this? This is not a set. This is a custom model that I designed. I pinned the link to the top of the chat if you're interested in getting more information about it. Hello from Ireland, Gary Mullane. Welcome to the chat. We're just building a slope. This is the slope that the lift will pull the minifigs back up, and this track right here, this is where the minifigs will actually slide up. And this one I actually did tile, although I could have just left it as exposed studs as well, but at least gives a nice smooth track for them, for the lift to push them up. What set instructions is being used? Yeah, it's I made the instructions myself. If you're talking about this model in particular, I made these instructions. Okay, one more. The HDTV, hi. How's it going? Okay, let me just see. Gen X Toys Geek. Hey Jason, what software are you using for the instruction designing? Very good question. I use Studio to design the model. Actually, I think I'll do a live stream at some point, maybe soon, where I go through the whole making instructions process from start to finish. I think I'll do it for the heart, the beating heart I just made, because it's a very small model, so it won't take too long. I'll go through the whole process of digitally designing the model in Studio. So I use Studio to design the model digitally. And I use it to basically rough out all the steps and everything. And actually for the live stream, I'll probably just use the Studio Instruction Maker, because it's easy. For my own instructions, I actually do have a lot of custom tools to post-process the instruction steps, render all the steps, and put it in a PDF file. I have software to do all the outlining myself as well and everything. But it essentially does the same thing as... it's just I've been using it for so long, this system I've developed, that it's got a lot of very specific features that, I like in my instructions, which is why I haven't changed to any other system yet. But it essentially does the same stuff, the same thing that LPub does, the same thing that the Bricklink the Studio Instruction Designer does now. Except there's a few minor things in the Studio Instruction Designer that I don't really like, which is why I just keep using my own. But for basic instructions, it's definitely fine. I mean, there's certain things, like flexible parts, they can't handle. For example, the rubber band I just made, like you can't make instructions with this rubber band. But if you use the LCAD tools, like MLCAD and LSynth, you can actually, make this rubber band into whatever shape you need it to be in your model and stick it in your instructions. And you can kind of work around it with Studio by making a custom part and all that business, but it's actually much easier to do with the LDraw tools. Oh, MSK 6003. I didn't know when it uploaded in Remarkable, but I bought it now. Oh, cheers. Thanks. Much appreciated. Actually, I just uploaded them this morning, so you were probably one of the first. The last 4x2 is wrong. Oh, I think I may have fixed it. No, it is wrong. Yep, you're right. Something is wrong. Thanks for keeping me on my toes. Oh, Eric, I've been waiting you to do the video. I never tried it. Oh, cheers. Put the mock in the cart and it's saying I owe $2.5 million. Amazing. Yeah, I think there's some bugs with the cart. I probably just changed the quantity for some reason. If you set the quantity to 1, I'm sure it'll go back to not $2.5 million. Mara Marsh, cheers for actually post-processing your instructions. I find a lot of people just auto-generate them and call it a day. Sometimes the auto instructions tell you to place pieces underneath other ones. Yeah, it's actually quite a bit of work to, to make the instructions, but I think it's worth it putting a little bit of extra time in just to make sure people have a decent build experience, especially if you sell your instructions. I think it's probably the least you could do. I'm selling these ones, but I don't sell all of mine. I actually give most of them away for free, but still, I still want people to have a good building experience, so I would rather... Okay, I definitely did not put enough tiles on here yet. Okay. So I'm talking and building at the same time. Oh, MSK 6003, because rubber band can't be used in Studio. I use a lot of colored arrows to make rubber band, yeah. There's definitely workarounds, but I personally would rather, just make them look like they're supposed to. But you do what you can with the tools that you're able to use, so I get it. I totally get it. Okay, so here's our bottom reel. And as you can see, it kind of rotates on this Technic hinge. So the distance between the bottom reel and the top reel is allowed to vary a little bit. And we'll have the rubber band here, which will keep it tensioned. We're just gonna put a plate with a... Actually, I'm going to move this over a bit. Am I? Oh, no, we're going to go this way. Plate with a... So the rubber band goes around that 1x1 round, and we'll stick it there. There's not a lot of tension, but you don't really need a lot, as we'll see when we put the... in fact, well, first we got to put the other wheel on. So that's most important problem, which I think is cam ready positioning the part. Yeah, for the rubber band, I assume you were talking about. Ezra, I usually just build a model in Studio and then go back through splitting it into steps. Yeah, I use the auto-generated instructions as a base, but I mess around with them to make them look good and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, as long as you go through and validate them, I think that's all you really need to do. I use Studio so much now, though. I've just gotten into the habit. I make rough steps as I go. Since I've always pretty much exclusively, I've already built the model in real life before I do it in Studio. I know how it goes together. So I usually build it in Studio, kind of in the sequence I expect it to be built, you know, for the instructions. And then I just add the steps as I go, which is reasonably easy to do when you're already familiar with how the model works and goes together. And then usually, I mean, I always have to tweak the steps later but as long as you have them like roughly outlined to start with, it's actually pretty easy to move them around or adjust them as necessary. Okay, here's one actually kind of non-standard technique that I had to use in this model. The top wheel for the cable is rubber, because it needs to actually drive through this by this Technic axle. But I'm just actually sticking a 12-tooth half bevel gear in it, because there's no actual hub for this wheel that has an axle hole in it. So we just kind of got to make our own. But it is a pretty good way to get around that. And then we're done with the top reel. And yeah, so that's actually all there is for the lift. And actually, I'll put the cable on. In the instructions, I don't put the cable on until way at the end for some reason, but I'm actually just going to put the cable on right now. And for the cable, I'm just using these 16 long strings with minifig grips on them. So we put 3 of them together, join them up, and then we can stick them between the reels. And then the top reel will be driven. And the tensioning system is needed because every time one of these joints between the cable goes around, it's actually thicker than the rest of the cable. So it might be hard to tell, but the position of the bottom reel actually varies a little bit as it goes around. And without the tensioning system, it just will not work as well. And then for the bars that pull the minifigs up, I'm just using a little bar hole with a clip and one of these 1x1 tiles with the rod sticking out the middle at the top, the nipple. And then we're just gonna stick one of those on each of the strings, and that way we have some bars to pull the minifigs up. So if we get our trusted minifig with skis, once they're on the minifig, on the thing, it turns, it pulls them up. And eventually, if my fingers weren't in the way, she would go off the top. But yeah, there we go. We got a basic lift. It's actually extremely simple when you get it all together, but coming up with the technique was actually took a little bit of tweaking, just experimentation to get to the ideal solution. Oh, our Hamburg's in the house. Sorry for being late. The traffic was crazy. Ah, well, better late than never, as they say. Old macro motor pulley can fit on that tire. Oh, interesting. Another long out of production part. I did not consider that, but that is a great tip. Moto, this goes together very quickly. Well, those were like probably the two smallest components of the whole thing. The base actually is where most of the parts are, and it's mostly just basic brick and slope, just for the decorated sides. It's all brick built. Okay, what's next? I think we're doing... Well, we're doing the turntable right now, but we're going to do the top section of the hill with all the mechanics for the upper turntable. So this will be the upper turntable. And for the upper turntable, as I mentioned earlier, I'm using this 8x8 round tile. And we're just going to stick a 2x2 round plate on it so it has an axle hole so that we actually can drive it. And then we're going to put a 22 half bevel gear on it again so we can actually drive it. And that's all it is. And it will just sit loosely in an axle hole, and there'll be another bevel gear to actually drive that gear, which will in turn drive the turntable. Oh yeah, and then we'll put I'm gonna hide those unsightly studs. Actually, it works with or without this 2x2 round on top, but I added it out for aesthetics, I guess. Okay, get some Technic stuff going. So now we're gonna build the actual upper drive system, which will hopefully come together pretty well. And I did have to use some funky angles. I just wanted to make sure people added these plates in the right spot. Hannah and Dorka, hello. Besides playing Lego, do you do any other jobs? No, don't do any other jobs. I'm retired from my day job. I used to be a software developer. Oh, actually, this bit comes pre-assembled. I must have been playing around with that. So we have a basic drive system here that we are putting together. And again, I changed this angle because I wanted to make it very clear where this gear went. It can't be meshed with these other two gears. It's got to be offset by a brick. Oh, what am I? Oh, I don't get that part yet. Oh, one by. And then we're going to join these two. And this is basically where the lift actually connects. So it's got to be on a hinge because we can't adjust the height of the ski slope. So it has to be able to run no matter what the angle is. But we'll take a little bit closer look at that when we actually assemble it together. But for now, this is why this part is all floppy. Yeah, so now we just got to build up the rest of the platform. And this is where the turntable will sit on. So the lift will be on this side, bring the minifigs up, and then the ski slope will be on this side, and the turntable will be in the middle to transfer the minifigs from the lift to the slope. Frictionless axle pin can't work on that plate. I'm not sure what you're referring to, but there very well may be other ways to do some of this stuff. It's the beauty of the Technic system, is there's often multiple ways to achieve the same results. So sometimes it just comes down to what pieces you have on hand or what your preference is. Okay. I guess I should orient this the same way the instructions have them. It'll make it easier to figure out where these go. Oh, Rashmi is back. Hey, it's me, Indian Lego fan. Oh, cheers. Actually, I don't know if you've been here before. Mukund. Hi, Jason, big fan. Oh, cheers. Oh, S4SA, you should sell a brick or plate with your signature. Actually, I do have a bunch of printed tiles with my logo on them. And, you know, when I do go to events, which doesn't happen a lot anymore, but when I do, I usually bring a handful. I bring a bunch and I give them away to... give them out to people. It's pretty fun. And I occasionally incorporate them into... Actually, I should have dug some out to put into this model. Well, actually, I think I'll just use a 1x16 here. No, actually, I forgot another... Well, I'll use a 2x16 instead of 2x8s. I'm guessing the 8x16 light bluish gray plates can't be replaced with base plates. Yes, they can. Yeah, these actually all just sit at the bottom of the model. So you could just build it all on a normal base plate if you wanted to. The white ones can't be because they are built. There's stuff connected to the bottom of them. But yeah, the ones for the base, when we get to the base, we can definitely... Alright, you'll be able to see that, yeah, you do not... It could just be built directly onto base plates. But, I mean, it is larger than... Excuse me. It's larger than 32 studs long. So you'll need to put it on probably 2.5 base plates. And then these tiles are just for the turntable to rest on. So we're just putting a tiled surface on so that, you know, it's got some nice smooth, although you probably can't tell, but I had these assembled with the turntable on it at some point already. There are definitely some marks on it from the turntable spinning on it already. needless to say, if anybody actually builds stuff like this, you will scratch and mark the tiles whenever you have something rotating on top of it. That's just the way it is. ABS plastic is pretty soft at the end of the day, so anybody who's familiar with building Technic models will already know that. Stuff wears down. G. Jacobson, back in the house. Jason, what kind of software did you develop? I worked for Corel, which was an Ottawa-based company back in the day. Maker of Corel Draw. I never actually really worked on Corel Draw, but they bought WordPerfect at some point in their history, and I worked on WordPerfect for many years. Basically, old Windows desktop software is what I ended up spending most of my career doing. They had a product called Corel Ventura, which they bought from Xerox way back in the day, which was a desktop publishing software. I spent most of my early career working on that. Due to lib, length of axle pin looks like only work on normal 2L axle. Sure. The Snow Yeti. Got me cold. Yes, there's a Snow Yeti in my version of the model here. Can you show it to me? Oh yeah, I think it's right here actually. My Snow Yeti. Actually, I picked this up at BrickCon a few years ago. Just from one of the vendors there. Actually, he generously gave it to me because he liked my work. It was very much appreciated. Because I don't get much of the collectible minifigs, but there are definitely a few that are super cool, like this Snow Yeti. I think it's pretty awesome. He will make an appearance later in the video. Kanishka, hey Jason, big fan of your work. Do you ever consider making instructions for your Lego mosaic printer? No, sadly, that has long since been dismantled, like many years ago. And I know a few people have requested it. Actually, somebody just recently contacted me. I don't know if it was, probably not you because I already replied to them. But no, it's... I mean, it's actually like a very elaborate project. And it's very complex. It would be incredibly expensive to make, for one thing. So, like, I can't see how many people would actually bother. And it would take an absolute eternity to make instructions for it. Not to mention that, I mean, it had reliability issues. It kind of worked pretty well if you had everything like calibrated perfectly. But it's just like so much effort and work and trial and error to get it to work well that it wouldn't be feasible to do, like, to make instructions for it. Sadly, that's just the case with some models, is that they just end up being like way too, not, I wouldn't say unreliable, but just way too finicky. Like, they just require so much patience and time, and there's just so many like little things that need to be done to make it work that it's just not feasible to make instructions for other people to build it. Just watched the short. Oh, cheers. WordPerfect and Corel Draw. Well, those are names I have not heard in many a year. Loved WordPerfect. Gen X toys, yeah, it's definitely a generational thing. Although, I think you can still buy like Corel Draw. They still update it every year. I mean, they don't add any features or anything. They just make sure it still works with like the latest ecosystem of software and the OS and everything. Okay, so here's our little platform. And as we can see, the turntable with the gear just sits there. And I'm just going to stick this axle in so we can see it will be driven from the side. And as I rotate this axle, the turntable rotates. If you go too fast, the minifig gets thrown off. But that will not happen during the operation of the model. You should make a V2 printer, make it like the style of your Infinite Domino. G. Jacobson, I haven't used Windows since XP. Wow. I use a few different distros of Linux. Haven't looked back. Yeah, I never really got into Linux myself. Still using Windows 10 right now. Do you ever plan to make more set-only builds like you did with the Crater 3-in-1 Monkey? I mean, I have no plans right now, but I do enjoy that actually quite a bit. So yeah, I hope I will in the future, because I think I think it's cool, and I think that's what Lego is all about. It's like building other stuff with sets you already own. It's like one of the best ways to play with Lego. But lately, I've just got a lot of other projects going on, so I just haven't had. Interesting. I'm missing a plate. Clearly, I didn't get everything out that I needed. Thankfully, I have a huge collection behind me where I can just get the pieces I need. Yeah, so hopefully I'll make. OG Bricks, hello, what set is this? It's custom mock I designed. OG Bricks. Oh yeah. Did you order the Space Coaster, our Hamburg? Yes, actually just arrived 2 days ago. So that will be upcoming. I don't know if I'll do it next week. Maybe next week. Maybe the week after. I gotta maybe kind of plan out my Christmas streams. Oh, clearly there's a whole bunch of pieces that I did not, oh, they must be in this. We'll just assume they're in here. If not, then I have no idea where they are. Clearly, they are not all in here. Yeah, Space Coaster. Yeah, I'm looking forward to building that actually, and I think I've got the prototypes all done for the accelerators. Still tweaking them a little bit, but I guess I can just do that on stream. There's a bunch of stuff. Anyway, I bought the Space Coaster. I'm gonna build a little motorization thing for it to make the Space Coaster go continuously, which I think will be pretty cool. T-Dang, where can I get these Lego parts without getting one piece from one shop on Bricklink? I see multiple people with so many pieces, but I only have pieces from sets I've already built. Well, there's a kit available from Build-A-Mock. It's pretty pricey though, so, you know, all depends how much money you're willing to spend. I mean, there's a link from the link I put at the top of the chat. You can buy a kit. I mean, Rebrickable also helps you kind of, you can download the wanted list, upload the wanted list to Bricklink, or I think you can just send the inventory to Bricklink as a wanted list. There's a whole bunch of tools on Rubricable that help you out. And Rubricable is free to join. I have a link on my website to the Rubricable page as well. I recently tried to make your swimming shark build using the PDF on your website. I love your mechanical stuff. Oh, cheers. Windows 11, I don't like. It's hard to navigate and too bubbly. Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, everybody's experience will vary. I love the sets, but hate to dismantle for creative play. T-dang. Yeah, well, you can, yeah. I mean, unfortunately, that's, if you want pieces and you have a bunch of sets together, sometimes you just got to take the sets apart. But I get it. Raz, I looked at the thumbnail and love the idea with the Yeti in the cave. How do you come up with that? I mean, when I was building the base of this model, I just thought it'd be cool to have a cave. And then you can put whatever you want in it. And I was looking through my minifigs and I have a Yeti. Actually, the Yeti was part of the original proposal I had on Lego Ideas as well for this. Okay, so anyway, now we have a turntable. And in theory, the lift, actually, the way I've designed it is it just kind of slides up onto these tiles that are extending out. And then as you slide it in, this gear engages with this gear. And then we can just slot in a long axle to hold it in place. So now it's like securely fastened. And then if I rotate the model, if I rotate this axle here, the lift is activated and the turntable is activated. So they are both activated from a single drive shaft. But we'll just take these apart for now. So actually that was part of the redesign, and actually it took me quite a while to get that system designed well so that it actually goes together pretty easily and is reliable. Moto in with good advice. If you want to grow a collection quickly, get to know the stockers for the toy section at the store. Oh yeah, over weeks and months they will help you, guide you to Lego donations. Oh yeah, interesting. Oh, our Hamburg Grant's Super Mario mock was awesome. Yeah, Grant Davis posted a little Mario jumper. Fantastic. He's got a little short on Instagram and YouTube. It's a phenomenal model. I might have to recreate that at some point. Just to make my own copy of it, because it's just so brilliant. I don't have that Mario figure though, because I never bought the NES set. So I will probably just buy it off Bricklink at some point, put it on my wanted list and pick it up at some point. No, these I put on backwards. S4SA, thank you so much for being so good about responding to fan messages on Messenger. Oh, really appreciate you helping me troubleshoot. Oh, the fishing boat model. Oh yeah, no problem. I mean, I try and reply to everybody. I mean, I don't always do because I do get a lot of messages, but when I can, I try to help people out because, I mean, I get it. Sometimes people have trouble with stuff and or just, need some good advice. And sometimes I don't have any advice to give, but if I do, I will give it. Okay. This panel is just for covering up some exposed gearing on the side of the model once we put it all together. And then right now we're just making a bunch of little components that get tacked on at various stages throughout the build, and it was just easier to build them as separate sub-assemblies. Beforehand, oh, sorry, the chat is getting, everyone at my local Lego store knows me. Yeah, I mean, that's, that happens. Oh, creative edge. I think it's funny because most people would just ignore stuff and then not say anything about it. But then some people would just say, let's pretend that we didn't see that. Now, how many videos do you do in a year? Depends what you're talking about. Live streams I try and do like once every couple weeks. Lately, I mean, I think I might do one a week until Christmas because I do have a bunch of stuff I'd like to do. But we'll see. Shorts, I'm trying to do a short a week. I think that seems like a reasonable, but sometimes I don't always have like a short to do. And then long form videos, just whenever I have some. Lately I haven't been doing too many because they do take quite a bit of time to get together. And actually I think for a lot of the stuff I make, it doesn't really need a long form video. The short form videos are, you know, good enough to show how they work. So for a lot of stuff, I'll just make short form content. And then if people really want more details on some of the stuff, they can ask me in the live streams. There's another little doohickey that gets tacked on. So many little things. Oh, there's the other pieces I was missing. Clearly they were there the whole time. Did you ever participate in LEGO Masters? No. Have you ever thought about participating? I mean, I've thought about it and quickly realized it's not a thing I want to do. Use walnut shells to clean your Lego. It takes off stuff. What? That's crazy. Like Lego UV sunscreen, but leaves the brick intact. Loves snow builds. Cheers. Hi from Michigan. Oh, Michigan Troll TV. Welcome to the chat. Yeah, I was talking about a reality show. What happened to the Lego custom keyboard you built a while ago? The Space and Beach one. Yeah, it's still together, actually. It's, where is it? It's on a shelf somewhere. I don't actually use it that much. Actually, just the footprint's actually too big. So it takes up too much space. But it's still together. I guess at some point I should actually take it apart. Although I've been thinking about building a mouse. I finally bought a new mouse, just a crappy one from Amazon Basics. I'm gonna take it apart and see if I can build a Lego housing for it. It's been like on my to-do list ever since I built the first keyboard, like, I don't know, 15 years ago. So finally I might actually get around to building a Lego mouse to go with it. Okay, we're on to building drive systems. as should be no surprise to anybody watching this, there's a pretty elaborate drive system inside this model. And also the mechanism for raising and lowering the top of the ski hill needs to be incorporated into the base, and that's been completely redesigned for this version of the model. So we're going to do some components of that here as well. And this is just best done in sections as well. So I'm going to build components of the drive system separately, and then we will assemble them all together at the end. This is the knob that actually adjusts the height of the ski hill and the angle. So there's an interesting technique I'm using here, which is I really like. So this spins freely in these Technic bricks as is right now, but if we just put two adjacent 8-tooth gears, and we'll have one of those 8-tooth gears attached to this friction half pin into this hole. So now all of a sudden there's friction in this system. There's a lot of friction in this system. So it'll actually stay where you put it. So this allows the height of the ski hill to stay where you adjust it, just by having that one 8-tooth gear with friction on it. When we assemble that all together, I'll explain that again, just to make it obvious. But it's a really cool technique for intentionally adding friction into a system so that it actually stays where you put it. Oops. I need a bushing. Oh, Creative Edge. So there's a website that I order from a lot. It's called Green Gecko Workshop. They modify and sell Lego pieces like the pneumatic items, and I make these little air-powered motors. Oh, that's cool. Oh, Moto definitely has experience with the Lego Masters. I think you do pretty well on Lego Masters, but the stress is not for everyone. Yeah, I mean, how did you enjoy the stress? Actually, I don't think I watched the season with you in it. That was like season 2, right? Oh, I can't watch the American one. It's just like the editing is, it's too, it's just not for me. It's too reality TV. It'd be much better if it was more chill. But R. Hamburg, will you rebuild the blue and red one? You mean the keyboard? Sorry, I'm like way behind in the chat. No, but actually I just recently saw there's another Lego compatible keyboard base out on the market that I might buy, and it's like a much smaller footprint. I think it'd be useful to have, because I think one of the, yeah, anyway, it'd be much easier to have, especially for something like live streaming. Even this keyboard that I'm using right now, the Microsoft Natural one, it's got a huge footprint. Like, it's actually too big. When I'm live streaming, I don't need to type really. So I think having a small keyboard for live streaming would be really cool. It'd be cool, even cooler if it was Lego. Mission Control, it'd be cool to see the finished mouse. Yeah, don't take apart the keyboard before you take the mouse. Yeah. Well, I probably might just build another keyboard. How often do you circle back on your models to redesign and improve them? Oh, another great question. I mean, I'm definitely not. It just, I do it when it suits my fancy, I guess. For the shark that I recently posted, like, I designed that model like almost 5 years ago, the original swimming shark base. And actually, I was just kind of like sifting through it was still kind of like half assembled in this one cabinet I have beside me. And I was just kind of looking at models to you know, seeing what I had kicking around to make shorts out of, and I stumbled upon it, and I was like, oh yeah, I should revisit that just to, you know, see if there was a better way to do it. Now that some new pieces have come out, and turns out there was. So yeah, that's how that one got revisited. But yeah, it actually doesn't happen that often that I go back and revisit old models. But, you know, it really just depends. Creative Edge, you know, the first Google server was built with Lego. Yeah, that was making the rounds recently. Well, I'm sure they would have still built a server. Do you think it's possible to build a GBC where the balls make a looping on their way from point A to point B? Yeah, probably. I'm sure there is. Have the balls travel at a significant speed for that? Methinks. Yeah, I mean, you could accelerate the balls, I think. Reliability might be an issue, though. Argsen. I'm in the UK, so I only watch that one. American reality shows are not for me. Too much drama. Oh, Moto. It says it's intense, but everything else is wonderful. I'd do it again if asked. Oh, yeah, it's cool. I mean, I think the experience, aside from the reality TV aspect of it, would be super cool. Unfortunately, the reality TV aspect of it is like a pretty major component. So, it's just not for me, for sure. I don't watch Lego Masters because they keep doing stupid things and I want to reach to the TV and build it for them. It's really annoying. Ah, yes, you know too much about the subject matter. Some discussion about GPCs. Yeah, American Lego Master appears to be way more destructive instead of design based. Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched. I only watched season 1, so I can't really speak to the American one anymore. Janx Toys Geek. Jason, never had moments where Lego introduced a new part and you had, oh my god, if only I had that when I designed XYZ. I mean, not so much. I mean, sometimes, yeah, occasionally. I mean, the Splat Gears are actually a pretty good example of that because as soon as they came out, I'm like, oh man, this opens up a whole new realm of possibilities in making system-based mechanical creations. I was like super excited when they came out. And I have started incorporating them into a lot of my models. For example, I mean, this model has 3 of these in it because they're super low profile for making the mechanics. Okay, I better start building because we're going to be here all day. Yeah, so yeah, it definitely does happen. So this is like the central transmission unit for connecting all the drives together, and we'll explain how all that works as we get to it. And this is the component that actually transfers the drive to the upper section, because it needs to be flexible. It needs to be like a flexible drive system because the height of the ski hill can change. So the drive system needs to be able to accommodate that. And again, we will. I'll explain how that works when we get to the assembly part. And here's the building some stuff. We already built the cable. We don't need to build a minifig. This is the Circuit Cube's optional motor pack, which we may build. I might just use power functions. I've designed it to be very flexible in terms of which motor system you can put in. So yeah, we have some stuff left over, but I think we'll use that later. Okay, now we're actually on to building the entire thing. So I got all the pieces for the base in front of me. And as somebody was mentioning, you could just build this all on a base plate if you wanted to. You might just have to pop ahead in front of the instructions to see where to start, but I built it on plates just so that I can get the base to be the exact size that I want it to be. But if you're incorporating this into like a Winter Village layout that you have built on base plates or something, then you could totally just build it in place onto a couple base plates. Or as I mentioned, a base plate and a half, I think, is what you would need. Should have maybe changed the angle of that a little bit, just to make sure you got the pieces in the right place, but whatever. People figure it out. Oh, our hamburger will be back later. Dinner. Cheers. Thanks for popping in. Oh my gosh. I think it's the ramp that would need to be reliable. Maybe stunts ramps would be the best way to go. Oh yeah, the stunts ramps. I haven't picked up any of those stunts ramps yet, but I really should. Australia's the jam. Yeah, Australia is definitely the best Lego Masters out there. For sure. Try to get those large black ears from Weebrick, but they don't have that one yet. Oh yeah. Yeah, that would be definitely useful once they do. Time to go. Oh, thanks for joining, Moto. If you're still around, it was really awesome that you can pop in. Really appreciate it. It was great chatting. Power functions or powered up, which you prefer? I still use power functions. It's just so much easier for just like plugging in motor and turning it on. Have you ever utilized the new worm gear that's super long, along with the Technic brick with a giant hole? Not yet. I ordered some like a month ago from Bricks and Pieces, or Pick a Brick, online Pick a Brick, but they should be arriving soon. Actually, I think either this week or next. But yeah, I ordered a handful of them just so that I can play around with them. Oh, Crazy Technic. I just realized I also watched the first live stream. Oh, man. I was going to ask about circuit cubes. There's very little resources on the net. Is it similar to Powered Up? It's so much smaller and cheaper. Seems like an easier choice. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'll hook this up as well at the end. But yeah, it's so much cheaper. And the best thing about it is it's got two modes. You can either, you can turn it on and have it controlled by your phone if you want, or you can just turn it on and it'll just run the motors at full speed. All the motors that are connected to it. So it's got like dumb mode and smart mode, which is really amazing. Creative Edge. I have to catch my flight from New Jersey back to Florida. Oh, wow. Have a good flight. Okay, back to building. Briefly caught up with the chat. Yes, English please in the chat so everybody knows what everybody's saying. Much appreciated. Oh, I just jumped ahead a little bit. Oh, gotta turn it around. Make sure to turn it around. Oh my gosh. And also I already clearly had that all offset by a plate. That's what brick separators are for. Whoa, that's a bit tricksy, eh? Probably should have changed the angle on that or made it a bit clearer. It's funny going back and because I made these instructions, I'm pretty critical of like just little things in some of the steps that could have been done a little bit differently. And actually it's since I've been making my own instructions for so long, it's whenever I build a Lego set, I'm always like super hyper aware of like how they lay things out and how they do their steps and layout. Okay, now we are just gonna connect the main drive transmission on, like so. So it gets driven by the back, and then this routes the rotation. This will go to the turntable the front, and this drive shaft will go to drive the upper turntable and the lift. And then actually have a little mini transmission in the back here so that you can manually crank it or motorize it. And the manual crank drives it faster than the motor, because generally the motors tend to run faster than you would run a manual crank. So I actually have two input axles for that. Okay, and here we're gonna start putting on the drive system to control the lift. How many different color brick separators do you have? I think I have all of them. Actually, I might not have the green one of this one. I don't know. I have a whole tub somewhere that I don't really pay much attention to because most of them are orange. Jason, what's your thoughts on the so-called illegal building techniques? I mean, I think it's your Lego, so you can do whatever you want with it. But, you know, I try and avoid them as much as I can. Or at least, like, especially if I'm making instructions that other people will be building. I don't want people to, like, destroy or damage parts. But I'm definitely not opposed to doing things that may be like, you know, non-standard or, you know, unconventional. Because I mean, I think that is also the beauty of Lego, is that you can do whatever you want with it. And I think you should be allowed to kind of push the system to its limits. You know, the Lego designers probably don't want to do that too much because obviously they need to create a build experience for everybody to enjoy. And once you start like pushing the limits of the system, that it's harder and harder to do that. But I think as mock builders, you know, there's nothing stopping us from doing that. And I think we should be encouraged to you know, to innovate on what is possible. Okay, so here is the lift. And basically, by turning this knob on the back of the model, all these black, I don't know what you call these, sprockets, basically are just set up to turn all these 8-tooth gears. And basically all the gear racks that we built into this upper section earlier will mesh with those 8-tooth gears. So as we turn this knob, all those 8-tooth gears will interface with all those gear racks, and we can raise and lower the entire top of the ski hill. And as I mentioned with that friction pin, because one of those 8-tooth gears, this one right here, is connected to a friction axle pin, there's friction in the system, so it will just stay wherever you put it. And it will be a little bit more reliable once I put the rest of the framing in. Right now, if you go too high, it'll just flop over, but that is the lift system. Evan, favorite Lego piece? I mean, that varies a lot, actually. I definitely have a handful. I mean, these ones, I think, are definitely one of my favorite recent pieces. Faux show. Okay, but now we're going to build, we're going to frame out this a little bit, just so that whole upper section will, you know, have a nice framed sides to sit in. Okay, I think there's one Technic brick somewhere still to go in. And of course I'm not going to be able to find it. 1x2. I thought I saw it kicking around. Oh no, it's actually already on there. Oh, never mind. I already put it on. Okay, put some panels in. Ezra, you could use a differential gear. If you connect the motor to one side of the differential and fix the other side, you can use bevel gears on either side for the crank and output. Yeah, for sure. Could have done that way too. How long do you look at your models before you go, I think I'm done improving? Usually it takes a long time, actually. Felix with the hard-hitting questions. Yeah, I mean, this model, I've been tweaking it, I think all of September, most of September and October. I was just like, I kept fiddling with it and tweaking it. The crank is geared 1-to-1 and the mouse geared down. You only need one input axle. Sure. Oh, Creative Edge, the first Lego ball clock. Yeah. Ah, that's a throwback to the days. Hello, hope your days are going well. Cheers, yes, definitely. Greetings from Poland, Paul. Favorite standalone element color? Oh, somebody asked me what my favorite element color, or my favorite color was the last stream. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really a color person. I mean, I said, what did I say last year? Medium azure was a nice color. I actually quite like medium azure. But I use a lot of gray. So gray might be my favorite color. It does seem to be a color I use a lot. Okay, more framing. I just remembered, that when you redid your shark, I realized I had those black ears from the Gift with Purchase Pirates playset, so I was lucky. Well, that's a happy accident then. Snow Animations, hellos to everybody. Oh, did you ever manage to turn off the box? I mean, the box is still around somewhere, but actually I took apart all the internals. So technically, yes, it is off. Because there's no power in it. And it's missing all the Mindstorms equipment. Definitely the easiest solution to that. The box itself, though, is actually still kicking around. Just the black frame. It's in a cardboard box somewhere. Chris Cummings, yellow. Wow. Lego Mastery. Hey, JK, I've been watching you for years and love your mocks. Well, thank you very much. Okay, I'm just going to dump out. These are all the slopes. I need to dig out all the cheese slopes. Or not all of them, probably, but a bunch of them. And I lined this with cheese slopes just so that it's easy to guide the upper section in when you're assembling it. It kind of just falls into place because the cheese slopes push it into the right position. So yeah, now when we drop it in, it should just kind of like self-center itself. So yeah, when we just like stick it in, and then we can raise and lower it. And even if you go too high, it won't like flop over. It'll just kind of like stay in place. But so there's a lot of travel on this. And this is completely redesigned from my previous version. The previous version only could go up and down by like a stud, which is generally fine for most applications, but I've noticed that depending on a lot of factors, the performance of the skiers can change considerably. So I decided to err on the side of caution and give a huge range of motion for the top of the lift, so you can really adjust the angle. Ezra, does the fact that all the black ears come in medium azure affect your favorite? Yeah, maybe. Greetings from Ireland. Oh, Night Guy, hello there. Ken J. Dav from Ireland, welcome. Night Guy, we don't make mistakes, just happy little accidents, obviously. Yes, just like Bob Ross. Snowman Animations, I just subbed for Mox. Like the frog with the tongue. Oh yeah, that's a popular one for sure. I don't think outside of the box. I wonder why anyone would be in a box in the first place. Oh my god, Nicholas. Good morning from Ottawa. Quick question. I'm working on a studio build and it uses rubber belts. How can I position these pieces if they're not flexible in the program yet? Yeah, you have to go outside a studio to that for that. Have you ever used any of the... I guess I should change my view again. Have you ever used any of the L-Draw or ML-CAD? Oh, I also forgot to put two pieces in. I know it's like going back to basics kind of thing, but if you look at the L-Draw system of tools, there's a editing tool called ML-CAD, and it's very antiquated by today's standards. But there's a program that's part of it called LSynth. And LSynth is like a synthesizer for flexible parts. So you can set up all the constraints of where your like rubber band needs to go, and then it'll generate the rubber band in that shape. That is what I use. Which is actually very effective. It takes a little bit of learning curve to get used to it, but there are some tutorials online if you search for them. I mean, once you have the elastic band or the rubber band in the shape you need it to be by using LSynth, you can probably import it into Studio as a custom part. And then from there, you'll be able to use it in your instructions and everything. Okay, now we're going to start to extend the drive shaft to the front. We're going to start building this out a little bit. Build the rest of the base. That is the core of the drive system. But obviously we need to extend this all the way out to the turntable at the front. And that is not in the right spot. Fun fact, a cheese slope once had an appearance of actual cheese. Yes, like a cheese print. Cheese. Yes, there's a cheese slope with the cheese pattern printed on it. Paolo, love your channel. Oh, thanks very much. Felix, after we built this first one, I was inspired to make a kinetic sculpture of two snowboarders on a pine side slope doing left to right and turning as they hit the sides before going to the other side. Oh man, that's amazing. Did you ever post that anywhere? Because that sounds pretty awesome. 12-tooth missed on axle. Yeah. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. Okay, now we are starting to do the transition from regular Technic gearing to splat gearing. And for this, we have that bevel gear, and then we have this half one. So for that, since these splat gears actually don't have axle holes in them, you need to connect something that does have an axle hole. In this case, I'm just using a 2x2 round. Has an axle hole, so I can stick an axle in it to drive the splat gear. And then we're going to use this half bevel to mesh with this double bevel. So this is how we do the transition. And then we'll actually constrain this all. Well, I missed a couple bricks with a Technic plate right here, so everything stays nice and solid. And there we go. Okay, now we're gonna build out some more of the base. Hope TLG makes crown gear and worm gear for splat gear soon. Oh yeah, MSK 6003. Yeah, it'd be great, because right now it's a bit, I mean, you can do it, but it's not like ideal when you orient one 90 degrees to the other. Well, clearly I'm using different colors of these. Okay, it doesn't really matter. Turntable bases. Oh, and then we finally, I think I add the turntables later. We're going to start actually building out the snow slopes in the front, because it's actually much easier to build some of the decoration around the turntables before the turntables are actually there. And for this, I just kind of randomly placed a bunch of, you know, collection of white slopes and curved slopes to make it look like some, you know, sloping snow. I know there's another one in here somewhere. Clearly, I'm just going to start separating some of these out so that they are easier to find. Who knows where it is? I'll just get one from the collection. Much easier. Oh, our hamburger's back already. That was quick. Quick dinner. Snow animation. Yeah, there's a Yeti. He's sneaking up. Yeah. Have you ever seen Tony Flo? Yes, obviously. Obviously, I know who Tony Flo is. He makes some incredible kinetic Lego models. Yes, I mean, it's on my list. I want to build one of his models on stream at some point. Someday I'll get around to that. This is another thing on the list. Yeah, I think it'd be super cool to build one of his models just to see how it all works. Because he definitely builds some pretty complicated things. I wonder if he'll make a Yeti build, like a little cave. Well, there's a cave in this model for the Yeti. Thanks. No, not yet. I have a big backlog on Instagram. Lots of transforming cars and brickheads to post, but also that slope. You know, life, kids. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll be super curious to see it. Be sure to like tag me in it or something so that I don't miss it. I live in the US. No, I live in Canada. Do you use the small splat gear mounts or just the large ones like you just did? I don't use the small ones that much. I actually find it works better just putting the small ones on these turntables. They move a little bit freer. Oh, Mask is one of the best toy lines ever, yeah. I was a big fan of Mask when I was growing up. The cartoon is pretty cool. Delicious potato noodles with kale and Kasseler. What? I don't even know what that is. Pretty typical for northern Germany during winter. Oh, it's awesome. Sega Sonic Gaming, did you design this? Yes. Yes, I did. This is my custom mock. Oh, Sega Sonic also lives in Canada. Welcome. There's many of us. Okay, back to building. 1x3 tile. Gen X Toys had his 2-part live stream with a good friend of mine about the history of Mask on my channel. Oh man, that's awesome. I should add that to my watch list when I'm killing time, or have it on the background when I'm building. Yeah, I remember the Mask series pretty distinctly. Man, the vehicle design in that I was really excited about when I was a kid. Just so cool. I mean, completely unrealistic, but who doesn't want a car that you can open the gull wings and then start flying? I mean, it sounds amazing. Might be interesting to visit some of those designs in Lego. All right, here we go. We got our turntables, or, well, our things for the turntables. And then we need to build the actual turntable. I have some tiles along the outside so that, again, so that for the edge of the turntable to actually rest on. But now we're back to building some decorations. One by four tile. There's gotta be a 1x4 tile somewhere, maybe, probably buried somewhere. Ski hill, sounds Sonic-ish, like ski hill zone. I guess I could dig Sonic out to go skiing. Actually, I do not know where my Sonic figure is, so that might not happen today. There are some pretty good mask mocks out there. Oh yeah, that's cool. I'm sure I probably have stumbled across them at some point. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Jason, what part does that? What part that does not exist yet would you like Lego to make? Yeah, I'm sure there are many. I think some more gearing options would be really nice. I would actually really like intermittent gears. You know, gears with like, let's say half the gear is teeth and half of it's just like smooth. So you can make like a lot of cool like intermittent gears or mechanisms that you know, cycle on and off. There's actually a whole slew of like kind of custom gearing that I think Lego would never make, but would be kind of cool. But realistically, I don't think that they would ever make stuff like that. Oh, interesting. But I think pieces like that would make the ability to build like complex mechanisms a lot more feasible. Oh my god, what's going on with the chat? I like the channel of making the vehicles in a 4x scale, but not the toy version, but cartoon version. The hardest one was Volcano, but I have a lot of misspelled words in there. Would love to see your stuff, yeah. I mean, the more mocks, the merrier. 2x2 tile with a hole. Oh yeah, like a square tile? Yeah, because the round ones exist, but a square one would be nice. Actually, what I would also like a 2x2 plate Just a regular 2x2 square plate with a hole in it. And then I would like a 2x2. Yeah, for some reason, that was something I was looking for, or I was wishing I had recently. 1x2 cheese slope. Oh, that is a grill, yeah. 1x2 slope with a grill would be cool. Oh, that is not a grill. Oh yeah, 1x2. The grill one that's not a grill. I see. Oh, it's like pork chops. Oh yeah, I ate out of the turkey. Ate out of turkey because I don't like pork so much. An element intended to be a ratcheting mechanism would be nice rather than what we currently do. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be cool to have like an official ratcheting mechanic. That would be nice. Basically any kind of advanced gearing, anything that would enable like advanced gear mechanisms, like timing mechanisms, or playing with like intermittent movement would be pretty cool to have. Because there are workarounds for a lot of it, but it would definitely be better if we had like purpose-built solutions. Fitness boys, yo, what's up? Welcome to the chat. Century Gaming looks rather complicated. Good luck, man. Yeah, well, I'm just following the instructions I made, so I'm confident it will work. Quite confident. I mean, it took months of design to get here, but how long do you think this will take you? It's a good question. Probably another half hour. We're definitely getting close, although there's still quite a little bit. All the slope decoration on the side needs to be done, which isn't like a trivial amount of building. Okay, finally time to add the turntable, the bottom turntable. Okay, so here we have the bottom turntable. So again, you can't see that it's rotating unless you put something on it, but so we got a minifig. As I rotate the back of the drive, that minifig rotates. Amazing. I should really dig out when there's a crank. I have a crank. Stick a crank on the end. There we go. Much better. But now we need to direct them to the ski hill, which is what this is like a little shunt. Just kind of floats on top of these, but basically it just makes it so that gives something for the minifigs to run into, and it will direct them to the lift area where the lift will come and pick them up. What was the last Lego model that you bought and built that really blew my mind? Yeah, I mean, I don't think that really happens that much these days. I mean, what Lego models have I built recently? They've all been on the live stream. I have not built any other Lego models than what's on the live stream. So there's not that many. I mean, I guess the Galaxy Explorer was a pretty good one. A lot of cool building techniques to get the shaping on the nose. Okay, finally starting to build up sides of the model. Then this is mostly just runs of slopes, just to kind of get, yeah, some nice little mimicking of some snow slopes. So hopefully this won't take too long. I have an interesting gear that came out in a Bionicle set. It's a gear on each end connected in the middle. Yeah, it will look a part number if you aren't familiar. Yeah, I mean Bionicle did have a few. They also had yeah, they had the two connect. They had the connected two, basically 12-tooth gears connected. They also had a 12-tooth bevel gear like this one with an axle sticking out of it, which is kind of cool. Definitely some interesting pieces. The Lego Classic Kinetic set was surprisingly good. Almost 20 of these new flat gears in it. Yeah. The whatever. I can't remember what it's actually called. I call it Fun Functions, but it's not that. It's like Functions and something. But yeah, it's actually super. It's a super cool set, and oops, put that in the wrong spot. I mean, I made a mock little fairground ride with it, which was pretty cool. That set is definitely one I recommend to people when they ask. You know, how do I like get gears to make stuff? But I wish they had like a Technic set like that as well, which just had like a collection of kind of like gears and useful Technic pieces so that you could like a good starter set. That's another kind of thing kind of on my to-do list would be like to design like a little starter kit that would allow you to get like a good collection of pieces and have instructions for building like cool little mechanism stuff. Kind of like that function set, the classic function set is, but with Technic. Okay, now we're gonna put the upper section in. So I've already done this a few times, but we get to add it, and I have a little illustration showing how it works. Then we are going to do some assembly. So we have, as I showed earlier, the whole lift basically slides onto these tiles, and they actually lock in underneath these two curved slopes to lock it in position. And then we stick a hole. There is a Technic axle floating around somewhere. Oh, there it is. Yeah. That we stick in the side that locks everything into place. And right now it doesn't turn the lift because we're missing the... So yeah, now we add this little bit here, and we'll change views to kind of show you how that works. So basically, this axle sticks into the upper drive, and then this 40-tooth gear just rests. Gravity just pulls it down onto this 16-tooth gear, so that as you rotate the crank, it drives the system, but you can actually lift the upper part of the hill, and it basically stays engaged the entire time. And I actually went too high here. If you go too high, it won't work, but it allows you to lift the hill. And if you turn the crank the other way, it just won't work, but that's fine because you can't run the hill backwards. Well, basically, you can adjust the height of the slope and the system will stay engaged. It's a pretty easy solution, and it actually ends up working quite well. Oh man, my nose is running. I wonder if I'm coming down with a cold or something. Or maybe it's just chilly in here. Ezra, that's exactly what the Lego education sets are, but they are quite pricey. Yeah, they're too pricey, and actually you don't get enough. You don't get enough gearing or Technic stuff in them. In my opinion. I think there could be better options. I built a Farragon ride. It's fun and a great build. Thank you. Oh, cheers. Amazing. Felix, that's a good improvement. Oh, great idea. Yeah, okay. Somebody's paying attention to what I'm doing. Okay. So now that we have all that in place, we can start or finish off this side of the decorations. Oops, I don't know where the heck that just came from. Who here watches TD Breaks? Oh man, it's like too seizure-inducing videos for me. I'm old. I can't handle too many jump cuts. The slope that you wondered where it came from, well, was stuck on the side of the base somewhere, and you push it off when rotating by accident. Oh. Thanks. I'm sure it'll come out in the wash wherever it was. Or I'll notice it at some point. Okay. Now we're cooking. All right. Our hamburger, the idea with the big gear is awesome. Cheers, thanks. Oh man, I gotta blow my nose. Either I'm getting getting a cold or my allergies are kicking in. Could be either one. Paul, keep up the great designs. What's next? What's next? Well, as we've been discussing, yeah, the roller coaster track. I'm gonna build some kind of accelerator system for it. Our hamburger. I have 150 Lego sets. I would say 100 blue brick sets and 20 Kata sets. Oh yeah, that's cool. How did you get the knack to make these quite technical models after you did software for so long? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've always been kind of mechanically inclined, I guess. Or at least interested in mechanics. Oh, I missed a piece there. So yeah, I don't know. A lot of trial and error though. A lot of just like experimenting and seeing how things work. What is your favorite Lego set? Oh, too many to choose from. Hello, Brick Fabric. Oh, which set was it? I think it's 10-11-019. Eric, something like that. Gen X Toys Geek in with another super chat. Oh my gosh, man, you're just too generous. Way too generous. Really appreciate it. Oh my god, Crystal's in the chat. Must be starving. You may need to get some pizza delivered. Oh my god. Crystal should be teaching instead of being on the chat. I mean, I had half a Cliff Bar before I started, and I have the other half of the Cliff Bar in my pocket, so I might have to take a break and eat it. Or eat it while I'm chatting. Pinnacle Gnome is on lunch. That is Crystal, for anybody who knows, wants to know. My better half joining the stream. Pinnacle Gnome. It's definitely a climbing related nickname. She loves climbing on top of narrow pinnacles of rock. So, and she's also short, hence the name. Okay, I'm gonna lower this all the way down because I need to press on some of this stuff, so it's gonna fall anyway. But now we start adding some of the various decor details that we built earlier. This panel that we built earlier just goes on the side to hide this gearing. You can take it out if you like to see the gearing, but... And that is it for the decor on this side. I actually added a few little depressions in the side, and actually that really helps when you pick up the model. You can like get your fingers in there to lift it up. Obviously the other side is missing right now, so it's kind of hard, but once both sides are on, it allows you to really easily pick up the model. Pinnacle Gnome, do you have a hobby just as insane as Jason's? I mean, she builds with Lego, not quite as much as I do, but and she also rock climbs. We go climbing a lot in the summer. Oh no, I lost my chat. Oh, there we go. Delicious pocket Cliff Bar, yeah. Oh, and these Cliff Bars are ridiculous. Our friend Anna gave us these, whatever, nut butter filled Cliff Bars, which is fine, but they expired like in 2018. Expired 5 years ago. I have been eating them, and I haven't gotten sick yet, so that's a good sign, but they actually don't taste very good. Not surprisingly in the least. Nicholas Amico, hello from France. I really love all your work on mocks and their instructions. You're an incredible builder. Oh, cheers. Tiola, greetings from Sweden. What do you think of the new worm gear? Yeah, somebody was asking that earlier. I haven't got one yet. They're in the mail. They will hopefully arrive imminently. Okay. Now we're going to build the decoration on the other side. Finally starting to see the end. The end is in sight. We like Twinkies, snacks that will outsurvive humankind. Yeah, possibly. Well, in theory, these are better for you than Twinkies, but... and they probably will go bad eventually. Okay, and here we're building a little... I did want to put a little bit more interesting details in the base, so I did add a cave for our snow yeti. I figured I had a little bit of space to work with, so I could add a little cave. What do we got going here? Oh, I got another too long. I must have just used 1x2s for that. What is my favorite Lego set? Oh, Crystal says it's ridiculous. There's non-expired ones in the pattern, but I'm almost done. I'm almost done eating the expired ones. I think there's only like 2 left. I mean, I'm not gonna let the food go to waste. It's perfectly edible. May not be that appetizing, but it is edible. Oh yeah, my favorite Lego set. Yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, the old Technic forklift. I'm gonna go with that again. I should really rebuild that actually at some point. Actually, I don't. It's my brother. My brother has it, so I don't even have all the pieces to build it. I don't think anymore. But I should maybe order a copy of it from Bricklink or something, if there's any available. Build it on stream one day. Just to go back and see what the early Technic sets were all about. What's the most insane Jason did for the hobby? Where you went? Oh my god. What did I do? What did I do? I don't know. Oh man, the stupid thing is in the way. I can't... Oh, the anti-angry Jason. Yeah, I feel so much better now that I had a bite to eat. Okay, we'll jump to the front. We're definitely getting close to the end here. I think there's some... Oh. I was like, the thing isn't sitting flat. It's because like a piece got stuck underneath the base. Problem solved. Okay. I need a 1x4 plate. Dubai. Oh yeah. There are a lot of cool people that make mocks that have a technical background or abilities, and you see that in their builds, like you. Cheers. Oh yeah, it's awesome. I love that. It's inspiring to see. Yeah. I mean, it definitely helps to have some kind of mechanical or technical background. I mean, I'm super inspired by all the people that have like natural artistic ability because I have none. So yeah, when I see all these like super awesome, like very artistic models, like good use of color, I'm actually super jealous of that because I can handle building the technical stuff with, reasonably well. But when it comes to like an eye for like artistic flair, I kind of have to like really muddle through it. And it actually takes me a lot of time to kind of put the finishing touches on a model because it just doesn't come naturally to me. So yeah, when I see people with the super cool very like well presented technical or artistic models, it's I'm very jealous. AS4 Gaming, you're awesome. I hope Lego will make an official set about your life. Wow, that seems a little ambitious. Oh, Gen X Toys has the natural artistic traits. Excellent. Okay, now we're finally putting the slope on. So similar to the lift, we just like slot that in. And then we'll put a... Actually, I'll change angles a bit. So basically these Technic holes that I have at the bottom of the slope will line up with these Technic holes here. And then we just slot another axle in, and it just sits in there loosely, it's fine. The siding will actually keep it in once we build that in. And that way it can, as we adjust the height, it can also it'll just naturally, slope will naturally change because the bottom of it is just resting on the bottom turntable. Okay. Super detailed steam trains are difficult. I could see that. Jasper, I love your content. So clever what you do. Cheers, thanks. Do you have a plan on building a transformable robot? Nope, not at the moment. Wasn't there a chalet on the side of this design? Yes, there was, but thankfully Lego designed the chalet for me, so I don't have to do that. We built the chalet last week. Oh, also, our Hamburg asked earlier a while ago what the story was behind retiring and working on Lego, but maybe we'll get to that at some other stream, since it appeared to be a little bit chatting about other things at the moment. Yeah, Jason ate a 5-year expired anti-hangry bar. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's expired or not. Mission accomplished. Filled my belly. I got some energy. That's all I needed. Okay, we got It's coming together. What time is it at your place? And how was your day? I mean, it's still pretty early in the, well, I guess it's not morning. It's 20 after noon. 20 after 12. So, my morning was good. Mostly I prepped for this stream, and I posted a short of this model on social media, so that was pretty much my morning before I started this. But yeah, otherwise the day has been going well. Where do I live in Canada? I live in Ottawa, Ontario, the nation's capital. Oh, there was that 1x4 tile that I missed earlier. Clearly it came out in the wash. The 1x3, that. Oh, there's that other piece I was looking for. All good. And now we put the cable on, which we've already done. And we have some skiers. Oh, also we're gonna put, I didn't put the Yeti in the instructions, but we're gonna put the Yeti in his little cave so he can terrorize the skiers. And then we'll stick a motor on it. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, actually, we've got to put the trees on. Trees on the back. I just kept the decorations minimal on this. I figured if people want to decorate it, they can decorate it to suit their own tastes. And then I have how to crank it, and then the motor pack and instructions. There we go, all done. Okay, so for the motor, actually I'm just gonna stick on a Power Functions motor. Show you a couple. Oh, my nose is running again. Okay. Fuzzy is falling behind on building his Lego sets. He's got to get with it. How does it lift up and down? I mean, you just missed the demonstration of that, but just this knob on the back. I get the feeling the top-down view has MC a little disoriented. Yeah. What do you take for breakfast? I just eat cereal. Felix is great. Lego is a great medium for creativity and expressing that. Also a great tool for creating insight. That's why I love it. Been hooked since I was 3. Man, yeah. Our Hamburg, is it reliable now? Yes. Yeah, skiers better not run into the trees. Okay. I'm just gonna go side view because it'll probably be better to get this all demoed up. So the motor can be, when you're hand cranking it, it's best to use the top drive axle because it drives it a bit more directly. So it goes a bit faster. And there we go. And then to motorize it, you can actually stick the motor in either the bottom axle. If you're running the motor at full speed, it's better to go on the bottom one. I actually don't know if this is in the right direction or not. All right, let me get an axle. Yeah. So if you run at full speed, you can put it at the bottom one. And that applies to pretty much any motor system. But if you can control the speed of your motors, if you have the right tools to do that, you can use the top one. We can slow it down a bit, so it's a little bit less noisy. And then we have our skiers all ready to go. And then we can see how they work. Right now the slope is at the lowest setting, so we'll see how... Oh yeah, it seems to be okay. We'll put a few on. The biggest issue is with the... Oh yeah. The minifigs falling over if they're... I did notice some of them, especially like Santa here, I put slow skis on them because actually the friction of the skis varies quite a bit. If the skis he's on are like run too fast, he'll fall over because he's pretty top heavy with the hat. I find the short minifigs work the best because their center of gravity is much lower, so they're much more stable. But there you go, and it will pretty much run indefinitely. Well, I just say that, and one skier goes flying. Again, the ones with the ski poles are a bit top heavy too, so. If you want it to work the most reliably, you would only have one skier going, and it would be a short one with short legs. Oh yeah, so we need the Christmas Lodge. So we got the Christmas Lodge. We built the Christmas Alpine Lodge last week for the express purpose. Seeing what they look like side by side. So after your big day of skiing, you can go hang out at the lodge. And we can actually put, this was the dude that came with the Alpine Lodge. He even has skis, so I don't know how well he'll ski. Let's see. I think he might go pretty slow. Oh yeah, he's a bit slow, but he makes it down. But for example, so for this guy, because he goes so slow, you can actually like lift the slope angle a little bit. And then he'll go a bit faster. But if you have the slope adjusted for his ideal performance, some of these other minifigs might go a bit too fast and topple over. We'll see. Well, she still works pretty well. Oh, it's starting to creak a little bit. Squeak a little bit. I think I'm going to clear a table and go get to building along with watching this. Cheers. Leo 1, neat model as always. Thanks. Santa's not a fan of gravity, yeah. What about a snowboard? The City Advent Calendar has one or two this year, yeah. The snowboarders, sadly, do not work very well. I had a snowboard around somewhere. I actually do not know where it what happened to it. Hold on one sec, I'm going to try and find a snowboard. Oh, actually, I have no idea. I have no idea where my snowboards went. Anyway, it's fine. The snowboards actually don't work very well. They're just too unstable. Oh, Gen X Toys thinks your chalet looks better. Well, yeah, I mean, I think so too, but you do what you gotta do. I love when I turn 16 and get a job. I'm going to get money to be able to build this. Oh my god. So now, yeah, they do fall over a little bit because they're running a bit fast. So I'm going to lower the slope again. Even though that guy is running a bit slow. When you have 3 minifigs going, it works best if they all have like very similar performance. Do you ever grease your Lego gears, Gen X Toys? Yes, I do actually. I use PTFE lubricant. It's great for plastic. A surfboard will do if you can't find a snowboard. Yeah, I actually don't know where all my snowboards and things are. I'll try and find one at some point, but probably not today. Warhammer wants to buy more of my models rather than the Lego models. Yeah. Cheers. Thanks. Much appreciated. Yeah. So it works pretty well. I think once if you have, like, as I said, if you just have one minifig going and you change the angle to suit it perfectly, it pretty much will go forever. Obviously until the batteries run out. Especially these short guys are pretty stable. But, oh yeah, thanks so much for the super chat. I cannot pronounce your name or read whatever you wrote, but there's clearly no translation tool in my chat. I can't even copy it. But yeah, super appreciated. When are you planning to do your next stream? I mean, I think next week. I'll do next Friday again. For next week, we should build a Rubik's Cube display that turns on display and display the motor. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Good idea, though. Okay, I'm going to... Chinese translation, he seems like a genius. I'm impressed. So, cheers, thanks. Not enough wax, yeah. According to Google Translate. Thanks for looking that up. I'm just gonna... Oh, I think I know where my snowboarder is. Ah, yes. I found my snowboards. A couple snowboards, anyway. Okay. Now that we turned the squeaking off, we can see how poorly the snowboards work. So unfortunately, you can see they're quite a bit narrower than like a pair of skis, and they have they have anti-studs on the bottom. Actually, it might be hard to see in the dark blue one, but so there's all this stuff that kind of gets caught up. And in this case, the snowboarders would probably work better if it was actually all tiled. Because it's not, they won't. But in general, they just don't work very well. I have, in my experimenting... Oh, we got one successful run. They seem to work about, like, I don't know, like 20% of the time. One in 5 to 1 in 10 might work. It's very unreliable, sadly. Oh, and then Yeah, I didn't quite. They don't. It's just the system is clearly not calibrated for snowboards to work very well. But we got 2 successful runs out of them, so you know that's pretty good, I'd say. Lead boots to be more stable. Oh, another one! Excellent! Look at that. Three times. Oh, I've been out. I mean, it's kind of fun to play with. I actually also have the old weighted snowboards. Oh, he fell off at the top. That's not good. So anyway, clearly that's how the snowboarders work. And I actually don't know where those are either. But I tried them at some point, and they actually go down okay, but they're just too big to actually work in this system. Oh no. We've got to catch the empty bar. Oh yeah, Felix, borders are hard. That's why I made mine move side to side, left to right on a pin. Yeah. Okay, but that's, I think, about it for today. So yeah, we'll just wrap it up and... oh, the squeaking sound. I'm guessing it's... I know some of the turntables squeak. Actually, it's probably these ones. These ones, when they get old, they start to squeak, or at least some of mine do anyway. So I know I've lubricated a couple of them, again with that PTFE spray lubricant, but I should have lubricated them all before I started building. I also noticed with the splat gears, sometimes they start to squeak a little bit too. The splat gears on these turntables will occasionally start to squeak over time. But a lot of these pieces are pretty old, especially like some of these turntables, so that is probably what the culprit is. I started to make an analog sine wave drawing machine. I should really finish that. Oh yeah, it sounds cool. Oh yeah, it's like a real ski lift. Okay, anyway, we're going to wrap things up. I'd like to thank everybody for joining the chat, especially R. Hamburg, Gen X Toys for doing some good moderation, Gen X Toys for the awesome, again, super chat, dropping them like they're hot. Thanks for everybody for all the great chat and the great questions. And we'll be back next week. I think next week maybe we'll do the Space Coaster and try and motorize it. I don't know. We'll see. I might yeah, we'll see, or I might do something else anyway. Yeah, so that's it. As always, thanks for watching. Keep on building, and I will see you next week.